All right, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the PTKast, brought to you by the South Campus Alpha Iota Eta chapter. I'm Owen.
And I'm Todd.
And we're here to bring you the best news about our student success stories and supportive services. Okay, so first off, who are we? Well, I am Owen Chaffin, co-president of the South Campus Phi Theta Kappa Alpha Iota Eta chapter.
I'm Ty. I am a member of that chapter with all the words I cannot pronounce all at once, but I am the executive vice president of your Student Government Association. I actually appreciate that. Let's keep working with that.
Yeah, we're going to keep that in there.
One of the things you will find about the two of us and a lot of people in Phi Theta Kappa is that we are non-traditional students. Neither one of us started our journey here at CCAC at 18 years old, fresh out of high school. I'm almost 30 now. I started coming back here almost 4 years ago. My disabilities and health concerns have extended my term here, and honestly, it's been nothing but fun to stay. And Owen here.
So I am 17. I started as a dual-enrolled student in 2019 as a freshman in high school. I've actually homeschooled, and I have been since the third grade. CCAC has just really been the best environment for me to not only learn at my own pace, but have all the supportive services I need to really succeed. I'm going to be transferring into industrial design at a university this May. Sorry, I forgot how months work. So I'm going to be transferring to industrial design in May. And Ty, you are graduating in December, correct?
I was supposed to be, but it turns out I am failing physics.
Oh,
so I
okay.
have to come back next semester and do it again.
Well, we always love more of you.
Story of my life, Owen. Thank you very much.
All right, so Ty, you mentioned a few of the steps in your journey here, but how did you really start? How did you first find CCAC?
So, it's kind of an interesting story. Out of high school, I was not necessarily making the best decisions. I had a lot of promise. I wasn't using any of it. I was going off making a lot of really bad decisions. And I also happen to have a condition called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which makes it really hard for me to do a lot of physical things. I also have some other conditions, bipolar disorder, PCOS, so I need a lot of medical help. And I was approaching 25, and I was going to lose the insurance I had for my parents, and I realized I got to make a change, do something for myself, or this is it for me. And so I was like, what's the first step? And for me, the answer was community college. CCAC was my local community college, and I am really lucky I picked them because I don't think I could have done quite what I've done here anywhere else. This place came in and made it clear from the first class I took, hey, as a student with a disability, you have accommodations, you have rights, you have things that you are entitled to help you get through. And so for my very first class, actually my professor for my English 101, Dr. Stephen Wells, made sure to let us know if you need accommodations, get them. So I went in and I got my accommodations, and they really saved my life a number of times. Right at the front end of the pandemic, I got a concussion. And if I didn't already have existing accommodations and was already in touch with them, I might have had no idea how to move through and get help for everything I needed to withdraw from that semester, which kept me from having failing grades that affected my GPA, and everyone was incredibly kind and incredibly well informed, and they just wanted what was best for me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Ty. That courage to be able to come back and not only continue your education, but find not only the support and help you need, but really kickstart a new chapter. That's really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But even more so, I want to talk about you because, you say, oh, I'm homeschooled, I'm still in high school. I don't think people really understand the breadth of how much you have going on right now. You're in what, robotics, you're in rifle team, you got your Eagle Scout, and you're here at CCAC getting things done. You're involved in extracurriculars here on the student government and Phi Theta Kappa. How are you balancing that?
So I balance it through just kind of being pretty busy overall. Luckily, CCAC has been supportive enough. Like, it's just been a great environment to be able to work with whatever conflicts or challenges that I have outside of the classroom. My professors have always been willing to work with me for things, and they've just been very accommodating. It's a very accommodating environment. But, yeah, other than that, like the flexibility that CCAC provides out just in the general structure has let me do things like being the captain of my high school's rifle team. I'm on, as Ty mentioned, a robotics team. I've, I've done a lot of competitions recently and gotten my Eagle Scout. CCAC is really just the best fit for me. It's been a great place for me to grow up and a great place for me to kind of get a trial run for university.
All right, now we're going to play a little thought experiment.
Okay.
If you didn't go to CCAC, and if you didn't pick your major, what would you have picked? So first off, what's your major?
My major is industrial design. I've always been a maker, tinkerer. I was the kid that was buying stuff at garage sales, taking it apart, sometimes getting it back together. But it's really kind of my passion in life.
And if that wasn't it for you, what was your second choice?
My second choice was mechanical engineering. It's actually what I thought I wanted to do for a while. But I kind of realized that I was more of a hands-on learner. I really wanted to be making things rather than just kind of thinking about it. So, yeah, industrial design was the best fit for me. So, for you?
So I'm majored in mathematics right now. I should graduate with my associate's degree in May. Very excited. I tutor elementary and middle school. That's sort of my bread and butter, helping break things down. I think the Common Core often misses the forest through the trees. And I like to come in and help get some more understanding. But if I hadn't done that, my first major was social work.
Oh, okay.
I ended up thinking that maybe my heart was a little too big for it, and I might not have been able to keep myself from going home crying every day, but there's a huge part of me that really did want to go and come in and help wherever I could.
I admire that desire, that need to help people. One of the other reasons I chose industrial design is because it's more independent and I can really use that more to help people. As far as products I've designed, I've already designed adaptive tools. I've been delivering Meals on Wheels for 12 years. Like, I want my career to make a difference. And yeah, I've had a great environment to show me that my major can do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because I think at the intersection of our two majors is my favorite mathematics topics, which is optimization, calculus-wise, where you like create a function for something, and then you look for, special values in its derivative function, and it tells you what the biggest or least expensive or fastest version of something is. And one of the things that really turned me on to it was people were using it to maximize the efficiency of stacking water bottles to send out in FEMA packages so that it had the least waste. And I feel like that was where I wanted to take my math career as well. And so I think I never really considered that we were on a similar track, but I think that those two things could really intersect right there.
Nice. Yeah, and like I feel like what I'm working on specifically, like as far as that goes, I need a lot more of that algorithmic thinking. I kind of default to heuristics, and that's kind of it's a weakness for me. But yeah, seeing that, hearing that from you, that really shows me a lot more how that can work and develop.
Well, and I think there's something good about heuristics, though. They wouldn't be programmed into our brains if they didn't have a benefit. I say as a person who, you know, has things totally programmed into their brain that doesn't always have a benefit, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like thinking pop music. There's got to be a reason so many people like it.
Yeah. If you get a little bit of everything, then somebody has to like it. So, let's see. Next up, student clubs. So, Ty, what clubs are you a part of?
So I've been a part of so many different clubs over the years. I wrote for the CCAC Voice when it was at North Campus. That was an incredible time. I was the president of the Math Honor Society, Alpha Theta, for a while. I was part of the North Campus LGBTQ Club, which is now the Rainbow Alliance North. I'm sure I was part of more organizations than that. The Fiber Arts Club, short-lived. The Geek Culture Club, which is now merged with the Anime and Video Games Club. I think I went to one esports meeting, but it turns out I'm really bad at Rocket League, so...
Nice.
But I don't know. I think also part of student clubs is just hanging out in the North Atrium and seeing who was meeting and getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And going, they look like they're having fun. And just figuring out where that was. So at one point I was in so many clubs, I was like, I really should go to class.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you always hanging out in?
So, right now, of course, I am a member of PTK and SGA. I recently joined the Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society. I love it there. I'm not able to go as much as I want, but I love the environment. I love the advisors. The other members are great. I think I'm technically part of the Phoenix and the Creative Writing Club. I know I've definitely been minimally involved.
I've been meaning to submit a couple short stories to the Phoenix.
Yeah, I've been working for some physical media for them, trying to get something in, talking to their president. But yeah, their advisors are great too. Michael Bennett. I'm sorry, I don't know about the other one. I can't read that.
Oh, it was Anne von Waldenberg.
Yeah.
Her last day was Friday. We already miss her.
Come
back, Anne!
Oh, yeah, Christine's there, too.
Oh, yeah, we do like her. She's the best.
She's
awesome.
No,
we were talking about Veronica.
No, who?
What?
I thought we're done.
Oh, no. I totally missed the joke. Anyway, Veronica's our advisor for PTK.
She's producer Veronica right now. Making all this happen. Other side of the glass.
And she is wonderful. I mean, speaking of Phi Theta Kappa, let's talk about a group that I originally was like, I'll sign up, I'll do the fee waiver, I'll get the little transfer scholarship, and then I'll never go to a meeting because everyone in PTK is stuffy and elitist and I don't want to deal with them. And then I found out none of that was true. Everyone in PTK is pretty fun that I've met. I have yet to meet a boring elitist in PTK. And even after I stopped going for a few semesters after my head injury, somebody was like, oh, you should come back to PTK. And then it turned out it was somebody that I was already friends with through other clubs. And they were like, oh, and Owen's here too. And we were on the student government together. And I was like, I'm sorry, you mean I could be giving back to the college? I could be getting scholarships. I could be making important connections. I could be furthering my career. And my friends were already in it. And I was just not going. Okay.
Yeah, like that's definitely true for me too. Like joining PTK was a little confusing for me. I thought I did like twice. For some reason it just never gave me a login. But by the time I actually got to meetings, I saw Kaelin there. Because Kaelin was the one who helped me like figure out which one to go to. Ended up like picking South. That ended up being closest to me. And it was a few meetings, me and Kaelin, and then you showed up and it was like, awesome. All my CCAC friends are here.
Right.
This is great, especially since after we switched to a one college model, when we shut down the North Campus SGA, it was like a reunion. Like we all just migrated, and that was pretty great. And I have a question about you and your experience with The Voice. So, did you ever meet a Dean Robbins while you were on The Voice?
The name sounds familiar.
So, he is actually the main reason that I'm here at the college. So, in the Pittsburgh homeschool community, he was really the first person to test the waters and get, like, he didn't just test the waters, he dove in head first. And yeah, he was the first person to really get involved and to really show us that this is doable. This is a great thing that you can do as a dual enrollment student. This is a great environment. The people are great. The programs are great. And yeah, the reason I bring it up with The Voice is he did a weekly movie review segment.
Oh!
Yeah.
I do remember the weekly movie review segment. So what I did for The Voice the last 2 semesters that it sort of was around before COVID, I was the copy editor. So every article that went into the paper came through my eyes just to see if we were using the right form, if we were putting dates right, if everything was spelled right, if everybody's name was right, were we italicizing where we should italicize, punctuation marks were correct. So I got to read all of them before the issues even went out. And it was really interesting because it meant that, like, I had to read articles in sections I don't think I ever would have looked at otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up getting me into music reviewing.
Nice. Nice.
And so I did a few music reviews for them, which was very interesting.
Great. So how did that work? Would you just pick an album, or would there be some kind of theming to it?
So it was actually really cool. It was sort of a well-known enough newspaper that we would get press releases. So I would get a link from the advisor at the time, Rob Villela, and he would email me, and he would be like, this band wants us to do a music review. Here's the link.
Nice.
And I could go and listen to it. And then I got to be like, so I liked it, or I hated it. And there was this one band I felt so bad because it was a band I really liked. And like they toured with the Ataris, who I really like. And I was like, there's no way this can be bad. I like all their other stuff. And then I really didn't like it. And I was like, I don't want to be mean to them. I was. I absolutely was.
Well, can't blame you when it's your job. Yeah. Wow. So I got to see the tail end of The Voice. Like when I came in the fall of 2019, like I would pick up a copy every once in a while. I still have, I think, 3 or 4 of them, but that was really good to see because I'd have lunch with Dean, I'd go get a copy, I'd wait an hour for my class because I didn't understand scheduling. I'd take the T up to the north side, wait an hour, do my class, wait an hour, come home. That I wasn't exactly efficient back then, but
there were semesters where I would schedule all of my classes on the same day. And it'd be like, oh, well, on Wednesdays I'm here from 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And then there'd be like large gaps in between. And the Sheets was still open, like right above the lot at the time. So I could grab some lunch. And the cafeteria was still open and the food was good there too. But I absolutely understand, like, I don't necessarily think that was the best way to schedule my classes, but if there were club meetings going on,
oh, definitely,
that really helped out.
Yeah, and that was kind of the first time so I've always been like a really explorative guy, and I remember I used to go down to the casino school and just sit on their little railing and watch, because I guess I had that like youthful time to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that kind of quickly went away.
Yeah, there's a PTK alum from the North Campus, Nicole, who actually worked as a table games dealer, I believe, at the casino.
Nice.
And so I would assume that she either went to casino school there or another one, but just reminded me. She was good. Nicole was great.
Nice.
So shout out Nicole Haas.
Sweet.
But you're a campus explorer. On top of that, you mentioned, like, I have been a little bit on several of the campuses. But I think you've been to all of them, maybe except Boyce.
I've been to Boyce. I've not been inside Boyce. That is a thing. I have loitered in the Boyce parking lot I've never actually stepped in, regardless of how hard I try. Uh, but yeah, I kind of make it a point once I get on a campus, especially if I'm trying to represent it through its either student government or PTK. Uh, no matter how brutalist and Asherian the architecture, I will walk down every hallway and just try and explore the whole thing. That's part of the fun in it for me. I like finding new places, weird places, and that's how you find the best people.
There really are a lot of rectangles.
Oh, so many
A
rectangles.
lot of rectangles.
We got rectangles, sharp corners, concrete, and stairwells. None of them are attached.
But then they put that nice red paint on it.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
looks like-
Yeah. But then you got like Allegheny. Allegheny is like, like poke your eye out. That's.
But it's got such like a legitimate like university feel. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. Which campus has your favorite vibe?
Favorite vibe? Okay, so it's probably between South and North. I like North mainly just because you can tell it used to be a Hills. Like
Yes.
North feels comfortable in like a consumeristic way. Whereas South is like, this is a school, it is confusing, but there's always new things to find because I keep getting lost.
You're right. North does kind of have like mall food court in a teen movie vibes.
Yeah, like
In a very good way.
yeah.
I like South. Everyone at South is really like chill.
Yes, I'm yet to meet a like argumentative or like Turkish person at South. South just seems to be like the nicest campus.
Yeah, everyone's so friendly.
Yeah, the administrators are pretty good too.
And Allegheny, I think, just like brings a realness.
Yes.
I think a lot of times, like, I don't know how to put it, but there's something where it's like you can tell at Allegheny campus, these are people who are here to go to college and get the college experience and every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, from the city.
Yeah.
So they're not afraid to be who they are, where they are at any given moment.
I like North for the place.
But no.
And I see my favorite administrators from other places there.
Yes. No. Okay. I think North has like great admin. Oh my goodness.
My favorite North admin are the ones that are from other places. Like when I'll occasionally see Ben, that's like a treat.
Well, I don't want to talk about like Boyce. Like the students there are dedicated. Like Boyce campus is the New York City of CCAC campuses. Like these are people with places to be. I think that's it. Maybe like I have a soft spot for Allegheny and Boyce because these are people that are here to get things done. And I love that. I think that's much more my speed. Not that I don't like to kick back.
No, I get what you're saying. It's seeing the drive on campus there kind of really helps to put things in perspective, see a more diverse view of how the college works, who's there learning, how they're learning, and kind of what needs to be done for them.
Yes. And I think it's like having friends at the gym where like you pump each other up, seeing other people working really hard. It's the same thing in the tutoring center.
Yeah.
I can study at home on my own. I don't get some done. But if I go to the learning commons, I go to the math cafe, and I just sit next to another person who's working, I'm going to get way more done.
Yeah, shout out to the North Campus Math Lab. That's my favorite math lab. I like the tutors there the best because they bring this more exciting energy to it. And it may just be their particular teaching styles, but it really helps things to sink in a lot better and just kind of grasp any concepts that might be slipping.
I've been doing virtual tutoring, so I'm never quite sure where any of the tutors are located on campus.
So I used to do the virtual tutoring. I did it for my pre-calc class. And do you remember the one that had a chat and a whiteboard? And because what happened was, for a while, at least during the pandemic, the college gave every student a certain amount of tutoring minutes
Mm.
with a specific service. And I think it was run through Chegg. It might have been Macmillan. I can't remember. But that was usually very good because you got to kind of keep the images of the whiteboard after, and they just kind of help guide you to, like, I like that the best when I didn't know what I was missing. Like, a lot of the times with tutoring, that difficulty, you don't even know what you're screwing up, at least in my case. So that really helps to kind of pinpoint whatever problem it is, so I can
I'm actually
hyperfixate on that. And
yes, I'm actually having that problem in my physics class right now. I'm doing it online, and the homework service, you only put the final answer in, and it just tells you if that answer's right or wrong. And I'm a math person. If I can set the equation up, I'm fine from there. I am not a physics world understanding person. So it's probably something in the setup of the equation that's wrong. And so as long as the answer's wrong, I have no idea which part I have messed up. And that's why I started going to tutoring, because I can show them my work and they'll be like, yes, here.
so I like seeing how we're kind of diametrically opposed, not just in our non-traditional student status, but like even in our learning styles, I think. Like, I'm not a math person, but I am a physics person. Like, I can set up the thing, but I make all my mistakes in algebra. Like, I am the guy that drops a minus sign, or or does some other mistake like that. So I'm happy to talk to you about that if you want.
Yeah,
later.
I mean, we would be great in like a physics class together.
Oh yeah, that would be
where
awesome.
like you touch all the lab equipment, so I can't make something that shouldn't even be able to catch fire, and then you give me all the data and I run the simulations.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Good, straight A's.
All right, now that we figured out how to take over the physics department, let's see. So, have you had a favorite class here at the college so far?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. And I actually took it last semester. It was Ethnic and Diversity Studies with Ralph Proctor. And obviously the material of the course is a little heavy. It gets pretty real, pretty visceral. But the reason it was my favorite was just because of how much I liked Ralph Proctor's teaching style. He was just so good, so clear, very conversational in a way that was, I want you to understand the meaning of these messages and the core of these messages, and not just be writing down definitions and historical events. I want you to feel these stories. And I think there are very few types of classes that can do that. And even the ones that can, the professor has to be able to make that happen. And I think I had the same with Dr. Wells' English 101. A lot of the reading that he had us do was also pretty heavy, pretty involved, about staying informed. What about you?
So I feel bad like this, but I kind of have a tie. So I have to say English 101 with Dan Lowe. He was an amazing professor, and coming into this, I was very skeptical, and to be honest, I was afraid. I had a huge writing anxiety. I couldn't. It was like a mental block for me. I was unable to write. It was probably my biggest academic weakness. And not only did he clear that up, but he gave me the confidence to really go after writing and research and really see how to do that in my own life, in class, outside of class, and the lessons I learned there through a combination of his just kind of unique teaching style and really the readings that he gave us. Because not only were they deep, like what you're saying, but sometimes it was writing about writers about writing. Like, the amount of writing inception that could occur just kind of gave me some perspective to be able to like get over that, and it really inspired me to go further with writing.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great answer. It is. It seems like the favorite classes are the professors that can make you think beyond the course material. Honorable mention to Luke Niebler's Sci-Fi Lit English 227. It is incredible. It would have been my winner, but I wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I should have because that semester my parents were on that cruise ship that crashed at the pier in Puerto Rico, and I just was not having a good year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, totally, it was not his fault. Nope.
I would have to say I have two honorable mentions for this. So first off, it was Physics 100 with Christian Farina. He was an incredible teacher who is my first kind of like academic physics course because as a high school student, I took that not only for like to fulfill a high school requirement, but that was like really my first step into physics in a real like academic sense. So he had really interesting lectures. I loved the class structure, and it really helped me go a lot further. And after that, I also have to say Sci-Fi Lit English 227 with Michael Bennett. So Michael Bennett he's a very dedicated teacher, and so science fiction literature is not necessarily designed to be the most academically challenging class. It's for engagement. It's a very engaging course, but it's a unique way to pursue literature. And not only did he do a great job, in my opinion, of showcasing authors of definitely a lot of authors coming from minority backgrounds, and really making sure that we didn't just get old white guy from 1920s. Like we had an amazingly diverse array of authors, stories, premises, and it really made me think a lot more about not only science fiction, like in a literary sense, but it really kind of made me reflect on what I had seen, enjoyed, and even pursued up to that point.
Yeah, it's funny. Our other co-president of Phi Theta Kappa, Alpha Iota Eta, Kaelin, is in that class right now.
Awesome.
I think with Luke Niebler, and he's really enjoying it. It was such a good time.
Yeah.
But I almost have to disagree with you about the academic rigor of sci-fi lit. I think there's a lot of really intentional close reading and meaning that you can pull from these things that I think sets up to an academic rigor that just might not be from our side of academia.
Yes.
It's not STEM rigor, it is psychology rigor.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, that's psychology is still STEM.
Yeah, it's
math
bridging
rigor.
The gap of social sciences.
Yes. It's very, and I think that's the thing. Social science. I mean, let's talk about every sci-fi lit course does Frankenstein. You didn't do Frankenstein.
Oh no, we did not do Frankenstein.
It's my favorite.
We did a lot of like more contemporary work, and I think I actually agree with you at your point. It's not the course is challenging. The course is rigorous. Yes. The course is not designed to be hard. That's the thing. I'm not saying it's an easy course. It's designed to be challenging and really have you reflect on not only what you had previously read, thought of, and seen, but to engage with that media in a different way going forward.
How do you feel about courses designed to be hard?
Personally, I think different things like math and even STEM, or the rest of STEM, I think it's okay for those to be hard if they're paired with the right instructor. So I don't like courses that are intentionally designed to trip you up because, after all, we're here to learn, not to try to learn, psych ourselves out, and fail. Like, it's a combination of engagement and that just challenging aspect. Like, it's the difference between being challenging and hard. Like, all courses should be challenging, but courses that go out of their way to make a student fail, give them additional stress, or try and trip them up in a way that's pretty unexpected, those are not my favorite.
Yes, I've always been really uncomfortable when I sit down in a class, and I think this has only happened to me once at CCAC, and had a professor say something along the lines of, most of you will not pass this class.
Yes.
I just don't understand, like, is it a passable class? Why are you designing it to wreck GPAs instead of create informed students?
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the good things, the great things about CCAC is my friends who've gone to traditional universities. That was all over the place, even at the gen ed level in the first 2 years, of teachers saying, well, this is what's going to separate success and failure. Most of you won't pass this. You have to dedicate your life to this, and people just aren't ready. Terrifying.
For sure. It's all about having a stable and like nurturing academic environment, and that's another thing that I like particularly like about CCAC. Like I have so realizing that I'm saying like way too much. I have had the opportunity to like take classes at Pitt. That's kind of the other dual enrollment program that my peers do, but I like CCAC the most. Not only is it the best economic fit for me, because Pitt classes are Pitt prices, and this really just works. It works the best because CCAC works with you. CCAC wants you to succeed.
Yes.
They don't want. There's no exclusivity about it. Not to say that it's a pushover, but as an environment, as an entity, CCAC's goal is to prepare you for the rest of your life, career, pretty much regardless of what you're studying, and to make sure that you have an experience that works for you.
Yes, 100%. Sometimes I feel like four-year universities kind of come at this from the perspective of, and I get it, they're choosy. There's a reason they're choosy. They want the people graduating to be successful so that they can go ahead and say, well, we have these successful people in our ranks. And therefore, they try to make sure the people that won't have that kind of success struggle to succeed. You know, especially in the Ivy League, you know, you compete for A's. There's only a certain number. And a lot of other four-year universities are like, no, once you hit your third year, we're trying to really weed out anything average. Whereas CCAC sort of comes at it from the other perspective of, we want all of our students to succeed because everyone is capable of succeeding. Everyone is capable of doing anything. And if somebody is not there right now, why weed them out when we can help nurture that mindset and grow success? They're not going to get rid of you because you don't fit their standard. They're going to grow with you while you figure it out. And as a person who kind of came out of high school and went directly in the wrong direction, I'm glad there were people here at this landing pad to go, it's okay. You don't have to do it in 2 years.
Yeah, that's great. Like, it's all about that, not like cutting the chaff. Like, probably one of the stigmas that probably gets to me most about community colleges is that we are the leftovers, or that we are not good enough for other things, and that's just not true. Personally, like, there's just so many reasons to go to community colleges.
But no, like, I totally agree, because I have friends and family members who are much younger than me, because I play D&D. You end up playing D&D with high schoolers anymore. It used to be the older crowd. Anyway, I don't really need to validate that. That's a weird thing. I'm just going to start that over again. Anyway, I absolutely agree with you. Because, like, when I see, like, my family members and their friends, like, turning 18, getting ready to go off to college, and I'm like, honestly, do your first 2 years at community college. Doesn't have to be CCAC. Any community college, save yourself some money. Things are good. And they're like, no. And I'm like, how do we get rid of that stigma? How do we get people to understand that, like, I don't just think we are as good.
Yeah.
as four-year universities. I think we should be the first choice, the top choice. Everyone should want to do their first 2 years here if they're going to university. Everybody who wants to learn a trade, if it's available here, they should be taking it here. There is not a better nursing school in the country than CCAC, in my opinion. And in the rest of the world's opinion, it's the third best nursing school in the state of Pennsylvania. So...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been trying to convince people at the high school where I shoot rifle. Like, several of them are pursuing trades, and they're going to places like Rosedale and PTC. And not only can CCAC give you a cheaper education, but they can really give you the same, if not the better. I'm willing to make the gamble. It is a better experience here because you have that variety that CCAC is known for. CCAC has a diversity of people, has a diversity of academic
disciplines?
Yes, disciplines. I'm sorry, I couldn't English there for a second.
We did our best.
We try. But CCAC is just such an accepting environment that we will take you however you are, and we will make an environment that works for you. Now, I've talked to students who didn't even want to go to college. Their parents made them go to community college. And they had their experience just kind of like totally turn around. And I want to be a part of something that can really do that for people. Like, I am proud to be a student here at CCAC because not only do I get a chance to affect other people's education through like involvement in clubs and clubs and organizations, but I get a chance to like make a connection with people and show them that they can be what they want to be instead of being controlled by these stigmas and limitations.
All right. I think we covered just about as much ground about non-traditional studenthood as we possibly could as our two types of non-traditional students.
Yeah.
But there's more kinds of non-traditional studenthood. We want to hear from you. If you haven't experienced non-traditional studenthood, if you're a grandparent, if you're a single mother, if you're already graduated from a different college, have a bachelor's degree from IUP and started going for an associate's degree in something else, someone who started in a trade or is making a change, we want to hear it. Are you even just somebody who has time now, retired and learning new skills? Let us know.
Yeah. You can reach us at PTKast at ccac.edu. We'll leave that to somebody in the chapter to make as an email, but it will exist by the time you hear this.
No, absolutely. And if you know of anyone else you think might be interested in coming on and talking to us about their experience, that's what this is for. We want to hear your CCAC story, what CCAC did for you and what you did for CCAC. Come in and brag about yourself, everything you've gotten done.
You are awesome, and you are the reason this place is so great. The college exists because students make it a great environment. The college provides the tools that students need to succeed, and in turn, students like us, students like you, do our part to make it a better place for the next ones.
That's been the PTKast, the inaugural episode. Did we do a good job? Let us know.
Again, reach us at PTKast at ccac.edu. If you have any questions, if you want to be a guest, if you want to do a review, hey, leave us a 5-star review on wherever this is released.
Like and subscribe. That's PTKast at ccac.edu.
All right, thank you for listening.